Nope. I'm gonna look and see what number I'm on this scene. Aw, you were awesome. Okay, so I think I was in the abyss. So let's. I just finished this last episode, and I'm working on another one. But this one that I'm on now is called Doubt, and it doesn't have any of the quests that I need to do actually later on, but it doesn't have any of the stuff that I need. So the video is not really. I mean, it'll help me later, but after Doubts, the 23, I'm guessing it'll actually help me. Oh, you did? I was wondering where you lived because I was answering questions for you, and you didn't respond back. We were like, I'm gonna turn this down a little bit, my bad. It's really loud. Um, so yeah, we were answering questions, and I had no clue where you went. I think we were talking about stories and stuff. Yeah, I had to turn off the sound a little bit. loud. It still is kind of loud. My bad. No, don't do that. Wait, it came back on. Okay, it told me it was gonna shut off. It was really having an issue, but it came back. It told me while I said no, and then it came back. Okay, so I turned it down. I think it was partially because that was on and being really loud, but it was also going through whatever it was just doing. I think it was in the mood for actually shutting off, and it's like I just got on to make the video. That's not fair. That's not fair at all. Romantic novel, which was a fantasy that you were. Yes, I don't remember how much. Um, I don't remember the question that you even asked last. I know I answered it, and I answered it more than once, and I didn't get a reply back. So I figured you fell asleep. But I answered it more than once, and I don't remember what the question was, but like I said, I I don't remember what it was or the question, but I did answer it twice. And it got quite interesting from even me thinking about it and going over what the story would be. Last question I asked was there needs to be a twist in the story, and well, oh yeah, it was a twist in the that's cool, but the question was the twist, but it was also who would be the villain. I think it was the last thing I answered as well. It was I had this whole thing. I had the whole thing planned out, and I don't know if you heard it. And I chose the I chose that the character the the evil character that was. So I have it in my head, but then I can't remember exactly everything that how I'm trying to word everything. Um, so we wanted it to be a twist in the story, and basically the character, which is the main character, she doesn't at first know that she is magical. So later on, like I said, she would learn that, and then she runs into mystical creatures in the process as well. And I made a thing and I said that the guy's father, which he's a vampire prince, and he has his father and of course the queen. But later on that he will you know I don't know at a time limit, but he is looking forward to actually taking over um being the king instead of being the prince anymore. So his father is taking care of all sorts of kingdoms around there. So like anything that um anything that is bad, he tries to take. He is a good king. Let's just put it that way. He's a really good king, and he's taking care of everything good. And he he tries to help everything and everybody. The father is in is taking over everything, or has taken over for many years. And the son is looking forward to taking over that if something happens to the father. And the father is a really good king, and he's a vampire because that's how many years that he is. He's mystical and all that. He's taking care of everything, and he's a good king and doing all that. And everyone must keep order, and he likes to keep it happy and safe, and a safe place for everybody there. But his son is looking forward to actually owning everything that he has. But the son does not like the way that his father runs everything, so he's going to when he gets that, when and if when his time comes from taking over for his father, he will be and he's also a vampire. So like they're a whole vampire family. And how would that work? I mean, and they were in a long time ago. Like I'm not even good with the time. So the father was already, I mean, he was human at one point, and then he ended up dying, so somebody else had to change him into a vampire. And then his son was obviously teenage like teenage years, and then his wife like that. But so he ended up getting changed himself, and then kind of just saved the empire to continue to do it. And then his wife, he after he getting changed, he didn't want to do that to his wife because he knows how much that would be bad. But he also didn't want to lose his wife, so he changed his wife, and she didn't want to be without him. So I mean, I guess it would have been on good terms, and they wanted to rule the world. But their teenager child that they've had, they also didn't want to lose him, so they kind of made him into a vampire as well. But why would they have to to take over? There is a reason to be. Vampires don't get old or die. Yeah, I mean they don't. So they were human at once, but there was I want to say that there was like a sickness, the outbreak that happened. I guess I would go for the plague times that they would that would happen. They they didn't want to be sick and die themselves because of the times that have happened. So the person that changed the king probably, I want to say, had a bad reason to change him, but the king kind of sold his soul because he didn't want to die from that. So he became obsessed with living immortal. Yes, the father died, and some another vampire had saved him, turning into a vampire. He went and changed his wife and then his teenage son. So yes. Yep. That's my kind of backstory for them. But also the son kind of resents the father too for that, because he was a teenager at the time. I mean, it makes sense for them, but it didn't make really. I mean, his son probably would have died as well if they didn't get the right treatment, and that time was really bad. So yeah, but he kind of resents the father for not giving him a choice, but they really didn't have a choice because son loves him more. What's the losing getting things? And also if they stayed alive and they're immortal and all that, then they don't have to give away the king and royalty. So they kept it going at the same time. They kept the legacy going for for a really long time. So there's there's that. And like I said, the main girl later meets up with him, and the boy doesn't think that he will ever, the teenage boy doesn't think that he'll ever fall in love with anybody because he's a vampire, and he feels, um, yeah, he feels, he, he, he feels let down in a way, I guess, because he wanted to enjoy his life, but he doesn't. So he, he looked into the evilness of everything. But it kind of changed when he meets the main character, as always. The main character as the main character, as it always does in the show. But she doesn't know. She doesn't know at first that he is a vampire either. How do you how okay? How do they meet and why would he change his mind? What made him fall in love with the girl? Why is she so special? Well, oh my gosh. Um he thought she was a normal girl. She thought he was a normal guy, but they ended up being both magical, so mystical. So and then there's always this thing that vampires are in love with fairies, so that then it happens. Um, so, but they didn't know it. She kind of puts a spell on him, and then he kind of puts a spell on her. So, kind of back and forth with both characters. Um, where did they meet? Um, I guess even though that she doesn't know that she's supernatural, she she sees things regardless, even though she isn't supernatural. So she like would just be out doing normal things. She likes to be out at night. So for some reason the night is what's great. So um she likes to enjoy things at night, and then that's normally where she sees things that go on, and she has that sense also because she's part fairy, but doesn't know that, and you know, um, that intrigues her, and then him because he's always out at night because he can only be out at night because he is a vampire. So, um, yeah, I mean, in a way, you would think that, but at first they don't. So, like, I want them to like, I want them I don't want them to know about it at first, but kind of play coy that they don't know that it's happening. That they just kind of met one another, and then they realize that it's great that they're together, and then they It's kind of a spell, but it's not. Like, it's hard to explain. It's kind of, like how they have, like, like, the werewolf, I should say, the werewolf imprints onto, one, and then, it's like that. They kind of imprinted on each other, but they're not werewolves. It's like that. Like, they kind of met each other in another, like, he would've, I guess he I guess I can make him like a kind of a story where when he was alive in his time, that he could meet, well, he had obviously other friends and then girls that he liked in his time. So I would like to kind of do a thing where he would, when he sees her, he thinks of somebody else that he lost at that time, like in the process. Mm. Um, I mean, they have their powers and stuff, but it's just that they're not they're not used to it. I mean, with him being around, the vampire prince, with him being around so long, yes, he knows a lot more than she would. But, like, I guess their soul, like, she has an old soul because her being a like, fairy, so that attracts to him more. It makes him feel like that he sees somebody in her that he has lost from the past, I guess. Yeah. It was quite interesting. Yes. And that he gets reminded by her because of somebody that, um kind of like a doppelganger. I would go for that. Like, he she looks like a doppelganger of somebody that he lost when he was human. I think that would be pretty cool. An old soul that he used to love in the past that he didn't want to lose, but ended up losing because of the epidemic that happened at the time, and that he lost that person, but he never thought he would see, that person. Yeah, it would be really cool. So she's kind of like a doppelganger and clone, I guess I would say, exactly, um, almost like the same person that he lost, that he never thought that he would see again, or meet again, or fall in love with again. So they kind of end up helping each other at in their, um, in the process. Of course, he never tells her that she looks like the 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 same person that he fell in love with ages ago. So there's that. Would they elope? I mean, um, I I guess they would. I mean, they're gonna have their ups and downs as well because of what everything that has happened. But he had this whole mission too. Like I said at the beginning, he had this whole mission that he was wanting to do evil also in the world, but it kind of changed because of her. But he still has this whole agenda also still in the back of his mind. So even though he finds happiness in her, there he still daydreams about the evil agenda that he has. And so yeah, I mean, if at a point, yeah, I could see them getting married. And there's a lot of things that he hasn't told her, and there's a lot of things that she hasn't told him. But if I write, I probably won't write the story, but if I did, then uh, that would uh, that would come up in stories. That's why they call them stories. That would be like many of them in the process that would happen. That's why there would be so many of them, I guess. So they both, not so much her, but he definitely has hidden agendas. If I was the writer, I would make the father banish the guy from his kingdom and banish through the ritual that weakens his powers. She nurses to health and they both fall in love. That would be interesting. Yeah. That would be yes, that would be very interesting. I could see that happening. I could see that happening too. Because I would say also the father has been through many stages of the of the of the prince, because for him to be king he would have to have somebody come around as the princess, and so he's been through a lot with that. And the son would be the prince would definitely be really pushy, in that whoever you bring, he would always have a hidden agenda um to get them, try to get his power, try to get the king's power. So I'm pretty sure he has thought, like, that could be another part of the story. Like, he has thought about banishing banishing the son, and maybe that is what happened, and that he banishes ban- banishes the son, and the son can't do anything at that point, and his whole dream is squashed. And so he goes and looks around other towns for I don't know how long, until he finds the main character. And yeah. Yeah, true. I can see that too. And a really wicked thing is, even though the father is good, but every time the son brings a girlfriend over, and then her whole purpose is to be the princess, but every time that the son brings over the his new girlfriend, he would uh he would always bring over a human, and then that irritates the father more because she's human, and then he expects that the son needs to turn the girlfriend into a vampire to let them know and be more into everything. But yeah. Yeah. And that makes him more irritated because he doesn't want to, he doesn't want the son to do that. He wants him to change the girl into a vampire so that she will be in a mate for eternity, and that he won't do it because of what he had to go through. And then the son finds out that the girls that he falls in love with go missing, and they're in the basement. Okay, there you have it. Yep, it happens. And the son doesn't know about it until he actually goes down in the basement and sees all the exes that he had. Yeah. Yes. And then his mother is can also be kind of goodish evil as well, and she doesn't want to um, upset the king, so she has to kind of follow along with what he says. So he helps him out in a way as well. So that would be interesting. And it ends up a lot of the time also betraying the son. So yeah, that would get really irritating and um really bad after a couple of years. Not even a couple of years, like how many they would have to constantly live like that. So it would be bad. While the plot of the story is funny, you should consider in human morals in the dialogue. It would be wuss. Yeah, so I mean the girl before she even met the vampire guy, because she would have to still go to school and stuff, and so she would have friends at her school that she got along with, and there's others that she can't get along with, so that brings a whole other dialogue into it. This whole school thing would be interesting. I've been told I have. I haven't been tested, but I've been told. And it kind of messes up words. I do see that. A lot of the words start to mumble backwards. You'll be sitting here and reading some of them, and it's not your fault. And then, like, a lot of them will be in different sentences, and I'll be reading. I'll be reading them in different, like I'll be on one sentence for like a while. That's bad. I try. That's another thing why I wouldn't write. I mean, I write, but it's really difficult. It's more difficult to write than actually, like, if I'm talking about it, because I'll appear. So if I'm talking about it, it's more easier. But if I'm sitting and writing it down, I have to figure it out. Yep. But it's fun to actually talk more than actually writing it. So if I like was making it, it would be best if somebody went and wrote it down for me. But yeah, that would be better. And since she doesn't know that she is a fae, so she would really just lives life as normal as she can. So it's quite interesting. So she'll like go to school. She'll do everything that all her friends do. Sometimes some things, not all the things that her friends do. Let's just say that. But over no, I don't know what that. But yeah, I don't. I'm not sure what that means. But I like to talk about it. That's fun. Alrighty. I was thinking that. Um, let's see. Overcooked. That's where it said, but it's not labeled. So I need to go back to where the blah 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 blah. Back to the one. Where is and then it would be right after that one. I didn't do the whole toothbrush thing. No, I didn't do the toothbrush thing yet because that's after. So I went way far. So where's that one in? Did I skip it again? I think I did. Autumn's key. No, I think I'm way further. Okay, right there. Well, I had it and I lost it again. Stupid keyboard. Where is it? There it is. So I ended up finishing this one. I'm pretty sure I did. Yes, I did because it says I have it checked marked. So I got everything from that one. So it should be the next one. And Michelson. UJ. Am I? Yes. Pause it. Pause this, and then I think I would there. Let's see. What did they say? That's why we have issues. All the girl with extra. Mm, interesting. That is interesting. Ah, I get you now. Work in progress. I guess that's what you would say would be work in progress. Uh, yes. You'll be like a work it's like a work in progress. Yeah, it'd be like you're a work in progress. That's the way I see it. I need to buy another I need to buy another Oh. Yeah. It's like you're a work in progress. Okay. So you do that and then that. Oops. I'm talking about that right? Sorry. I just don't have full time. Okay. I mean, we were just messing around. So, who wants to break? What was your wish? I don't. It's. That's great. You say your full name, age, and something about you to the camera. I. I'm. You'll be cool. Promise. Fine. Ask whatever. As long as it's not annoying. Winter is my favorite season. And what's it? Not? I told you. No annoying questions. How cute. Why did girls? I met this girl at a bookstore in Seattle. And she told me about it and how she sends kind of emails. And then don't send text or something. What? It's not just about like having lots of thoughts or whatever. That's bullshit. The music is what's important. When I saw copies, I felt like
really some people out there. Yeah. Like before you guys, my only friends were the here on hunting fun. And I guess I felt alone. Nice question. Okay, you ready for 7? I'm gonna sleep that so all right.
So 18 out of 22.